And you're working on an EP at the moment, right?
Yes, I am working on an EP, yeah, which will be out early next year, 2017. So.
Nice one, 2017. So you're going hot on that, and you're, as far as I know, like you're very hot on like lots of gigs that you're doing at the moment in London, right? Like you're. Every time I look at your pages, you're doing something. Like you're busy. You're a very busy woman.
Yeah, trying to keep busy. Really, it's about keeping the momentum going, and sort of building and working hard at what you want to achieve. So yeah, got to keep it moving.
But what is it? What is it that you want to achieve? Is it like, because obviously, like you would say, like you're a Christian and you're a rapper as well. So is it like what is it like you're achieving? Is it like musically something, or is it something more like personal?
Musically, really, because for me, my dream, my passion, is to basically bring positive Christian rap music over into the secular. That's my dream, basically, in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, that sounds good. And so you're trying to bring it. That's what a lot of people are trying to do. I think it's just a natural, like, let's showcase there is good music out there, kind of thing, right? Yeah. There's actually good hip hop out there. It's not all bad.
There's a lot of it. That's the thing, and I just feel that a lot of times it's like we're very much in our little hole, and I think the world needs to know about Christian rap, really, and especially where we've got a positive message to influence people's lives and hopefully change their lives.
Yeah, I feel that. Yo, so you got is it 2 new singles you've had out recently, like the last couple of months or something? Yeah,
well, I've had Level Up, which was the first one, so it's more like an introduction kind of thing to sort of just introduce myself as a Christian rapper, and to show people what I'm about, which is basically keeping it real and just giving them a bit of an insight into my life and showing how it is, living in the world as a Christian and the temptations that we may face, etc. But with God, obviously, you can overcome. And then the second one was in conjunction with the Pentecostal Credit Union, which is basically, it's sort of just highlighting to young people the way they're spending money, especially for social media now, all the pressure, this whole image thing, trying to look the part, and sort of show off and boast with your material things and all of that, and just basically reflecting what they're doing with their spending to encourage them to invest more.
So how does it work? Like, how did they do it on the track? How did they help you with it?
Well, basically what it is they're starting to, they're basically introducing a new product to young people. So what it is they're just starting their whole marketing regime, and they wanted to basically collaborate with an artist that will attract young people.
Yeah.
And engage young people and to build awareness about this whole money spending thing. So they basically thought, what better way is there to do it than doing it through music? So they approached me and asked if I'll join them in writing a song based at, talking about money kind of thing. So it's just a song really, but they're behind it.
That's really cool. So did they approach you because you're with the Pentecostal churches?
They approached me because they saw me perform.
Oh, nice one.
So it's nothing to do with what church I go to. They just approached me asking if I'd write a song on behalf of them, basically.
Yeah.
So that song won't be on my EP, basically.
Oh, that's really cool.
I'll put it out there.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. So that's really good. I like the idea of it. I mean, it's really even more cool the fact that they approached you and said, "Hey, let's do a song together." Because like for any separate kind of whether it be a church or a union or something separate, to go to a rapper in particular and say, hey, look, we recognize that like hip hop is a massive thing culturally that's hitting young people.
Yeah. And
for them to actually approach you and say, hey, do you want to do a song together? That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a collaboration type thing, really. And they're doing a lot of good things for young people nowadays. Now, anyway, at the moment, they did a leadership type workshop to sort of encourage them to sharpen their skills and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, really good. Check them out.
Oh, well, definitely. Yo, can you tell us a bit more about that? Like, what were you doing? Like, how did you start off in the music industry? Well,
if I go right back to the beginning, obviously I was raised in church and that. So when I first started, it was pure gospel. That's how I started out, performing in churches and separate events. And then I joined Soundboy Entertainment, and then that's when I started performing in secular type events like the Royal Festival Hall and places like that.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think that's when I fell away from God. And then I decided that for me, music has always been real to me. So basically, wherever I'm at in my life, my music will come with me. kind of thing. So because I dropped off, obviously, my music, because I always talk about my life. So if I'm not with God, I'm not going to talk about God. I'm going to talk about the madness that I'm living in, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what happened at that point. But I was sort of working on a mixtape at that point, which was almost ready to go. And I had certain features on there like Rich 32, Scorcher, I don't know if you know.
Yeah, Rich 32 is like one of the most well-known grime artists, isn't he?
Yeah, those were the days when he was like dropping his mixtapes and stuff, and he hadn't quite broken through as yet, but it was kind of on the rise type thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, but as soon as that was ready to drop, I basically came back to Christ, which was unexpected, and then God just convicted me heavily against releasing the CD, which took me 2 whole years to put together. So I wasn't happy.
Yo, do you want to share with us like how you came back to know Jesus?
Well, it was just a low time in my life, really. A really low time because I fell away from Christ basically because my parents got divorced. And generally, I find that for me personally, when I growing up in church kind of thing, it's like life was a bit in a bubble. It's like everything was perfect. You got your mum and dad kind of thing. Nothing can ever go wrong.
Yeah.
So I was kind of much in that happy family kind of vibe, and I never really experienced no hardship. So when they went through that divorce, it was very devastating and traumatizing for me, my brothers and sisters. And from that point, I basically decided that God wasn't real, and what's the point of serving him if life still goes wrong? It doesn't make no sense me living in this struggle when I'm still going to experience the same things that people experience that aren't with Christ. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So, but through doing that, the enemy just basically just ripped me totally away. Because I basically woke up, because I used to like pray and think of God all the time. I basically pushed all those things away from me. So I refused to pray. I refused to talk to God. I was like, no, not having it. I just went proper stubborn. So because of that, I basically was just put all my morals to the side, and anything that the enemy presented to me, I was just going for it like 100%. I was like, well, boy, if I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to do it proper. Cut a long story short, I was just in a really bad place, and I just started to look in the mirror and not recognize who I was anymore. And from then, I just started crying out to God because I was caught up in so many different addictions and stuff that I couldn't get out of. And I just felt so broken, and I was lost. It's like I completely lost my path. So at that point, I cried out to God, and then he started to bring people into my life who were Christians, even though I was still refusing to step foot in the church because I also felt that the church hurt me as well. He brought the right people into my life to sort of slowly bring me back and say, come to church. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming, but I'm sitting at the back.
Yeah.
So, so that's what basically happened. And then slowly but surely, I gradually went up to the altar, which I remember I felt like someone was pushing me up there because I don't remember taking myself. And that was it. The rest was history. Then God just reminded me of what he originally wanted me to do with my music, and it just made a complete flip.
Yeah, that's amazing. So then you actually,
yeah.
Was it all within the same church, or did you go back to a different church?
No, I went to a different church.
So like that was it, like you completely changed and you came back to him?
Yeah, obviously it takes a process, isn't it? You don't just, I think that's the other thing. Sometimes people feel like when they become a Christian, tomorrow they're a completely different person and they won't have struggles anymore. So obviously it takes some time. You've got to work on your weaknesses and focus on God and draw closer to him. And as you grow, you get stronger and things start to drop off you bit by bit. So I just went through a long refining process, really. And I stopped doing music because my flesh still wanted to rap hardcore. My flesh still wanted to talk about things that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
So I had to stop to kind of like renew my mind and take time away from it to kind of just have a clean break away from all of that so I can come back almost like a new person, basically, in the form of music. And my bars were literally like that. I was like, I don't need no man. We're waste men. I'm the hottest chick in the game. It's just all of that self-centered stuff. You know what I mean? I got my own money. I don't need nothing. That's how I was, because I was rolling with that kind of mentality. Now trying to do gospel now for me just felt so soft. I thought, well, how can I still be me as a female rapper with that fire without talking them things? And that was my struggle for a long time.
Yeah, I bet. So any of those old guys that you used to roll with, like Wretch 32 and all those ones, do you still talk to them, or have you spoken to anyone from that old era and given them and told them about Jesus or anything like that?
I haven't, because we haven't crossed paths. It's more that we haven't crossed paths, but we weren't really friends like that. It's more by association, if you know what I mean. And it's like, oh, will you do a feature on my track? And it's like, yeah, cool, because he knows my people, kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying?